Hi guys, welcome back. Right, today is the Stranger Things Tarantula Enclosure tutorial. I've had so much fun doing this. I think it's possibly my best build so far. Pop a comment down below if you think one is better, but I've really enjoyed this. The detail and attention to detail was really the key on this one. As you know, if you follow the channel, this is my second Stranger Things build. The other one was raffled off for charity. And but then I felt really gutted that it went and when it gone. So I've been planning this one for absolutely ages. So I wanted to not completely copy the one before. I wanted to make it say loads better. I had a few other ideas that I didn't put into the first one that I wanted to do in the second one. I wanted to do various different styles of enclosure buildings, loads of different techniques, and put it into one build. So without any further ado, we're gonna watch it now and I'll see you afterwards. So guys, this is the start. We've got a 30 by 45 high, was the Exo Terra. Now we've got a 3D print here. So if you're getting someone to do your 3D prints, I get them to raise the logo or whatever. So when we add, this one's going to be grout at the back, black grout. All you're going to see is the letters and none of the background there, so it's raised up, so we need to fill it up almost to the top there. I think you've got about a 5mm raise on that, but what you can do is I'll show you what to do in a bit anyway. But what we're going to do, we're going to silicone these ones in because I want this absolutely perfect. Usually I use a hot glue melt, but I want it all central. So we've got trusty old vernier that we're going to measure each side like that and that to get it sort of central. Now the difference between using silicone and using a hot melt gun is that you're going to have a little bit more time to get it perfect, to get it nice and straight. So it's just the normal HA6 that we use for anything else. We've also got the 3D printed Vecna head to go in as well. We're going to silicone that in as well, so everything will be central. As I said, it gives you a little bit more time, plus you'll be able to slide it right down so it sticks more flush to the glass. But yes, so we've just stuck a blob in, so we're going to use vernier here, check that side's there, and it's level with the top there. But it does give you a little bit more. As you can see, I'll just run a line across. So now we need to get this sort of level and straight the same way. And it's just going to be I don't think the print's exactly straight, but it'll be good enough. Now these are the tentacle sort of things that Vecna has. Now I had a couple of old Independence Day broken figurines, and these are on it. So what we've done, we primed them, but a good thing they bend. Primed them, sprayed them. We're going to add a bit of red onto there as well so they stand out, but they will be coming on as well. So what I'll probably do is hot glue these on and then surround it by silicone just to hold them into place. Right guys, I know it seems all upside down, but the silicone is actually working. I'll put a big blob of silicone on the end there. So you see, it looks like it's coming from behind. going to be really careful with this and just not move them at all. Just try and stick them in place and then leave them. What I'm going to make sure is they're all the same length. So I know this and this one are both the same length. I also cut like an angle on the end, so it had more sort of stick like area to stick down rather than just doing it straight on the end. And once the black grout is all over it, it should hold really well. Not that it's gonna be a lot of movement, but we are doing these sides here, so we're gonna need to like move it out of the way and do bits and pieces as well. But yes, excuse the tractor behind in the blinking allotments at the back. So what we've done, big dollop of silicone on there, and just put a couple of cans there to hold them in place, sort of leaning on them, so hopefully that will be enough. So guys, we started adding the grout. This is a black tile grout. So adding it in, as you can see, it's gone over some of the 3D prints, so we're gonna have to clean it all around the outside, and then that'll be like a bit of a repaint. I'm planning to sort of bring in the red into the black background as well, but I think the best idea for me to do is, rather than try and cover it all at once, just work on like quarters. So we've done, or half, we've done the first half now, but a tip, if you want to paint the grout on, we're dabbing it with a damp sponge, because then that'll hide all the application marks where you've actually put it with your tool, whatever you're using to apply it. Probably have to go over the Stranger Things again, but it's not an issue. I'm going to clean off as much as I can, but obviously I don't want to lose the detail of the print. You see where it comes out, and just have the head sticking out there. I want some of all this background detail, so we're going to have to go over it in a red again. But at the minute we're trying to fill it, just trying to fill in the holes in the background, because where it is here, you see there, we need to get the grout inside all these holes and then clean it out afterwards. So I think what I'm going to do is clean up as best as I can, and then come light on its back, so nothing all slides down the glass overnight. And yeah, we'll see how it looks tomorrow after it's all been cleaned. But it's okay, we can fix it, clean all this up. So the first coat of grout is done, and you see here I've tried to model the effects of the grout, because we're going to carry on the paint into the actual grout itself. So I'm going to repaint the sides and sort of gradually go out with red into it, so it looks a bit like it's coming out the upside down. But yeah, so you imagine that with some like looking, so it looks like the night sky looking into like a valley sort of thing with plants and everything, so it looks like it's coming from the sky behind. That's the idea sort of in my head. We just got to get this bit done. The trouble is it's getting quite cold in the shed, so we're gonna have to take this indoors to dry so we can carry on with the second coat. Otherwise it's gonna be a long old wait. But yeah, I done one coat yesterday. As I said, there's loads of bits. You see where You look inside, you can see where the 3D print is still there. So we're going to colour all that in and make it pop again. Blend it out as we're coming out. So yeah, once it's got some lights on it and stuff, it should look pretty cool. But yeah, nice already. So guys, we're adding the paint, and you're going to see why I did the sort of mould effect. So basically, we can just go where all the bumps and circles are to give it sort of a better effect. So I'm going to add a bit of yellow to it as well, but I still want it quite dark, so it's a case of really building it up really slowly. And I'm not a model painter by any stretch of the imagination, but as you can see, we're just sort of, we want to, like, I'm trying to do like feathery sort of web-like sources of light coming out of Vecna, but I'm really liking that. I'm highlighting where we went over with the grout. I'm sort of highlighting bits of the Stranger Things as well, so it's not a solid colour, but it's sort of standing out, and I think I can really like that sort of effect. But I think Vecna's a little bit white, so we're going to add a little bit of red to him and as well, sort of red and blacks, and darken him up a little bit. But yeah, that looks sort of epic. What I've got pieces of wood and stuff, so I've got 2 long pieces of this stuff that I'm going to chop in half at work and sort of frame the tank as well, and some cork bark. I want a cork bark hide in the corner, maybe 2, so it's sort of symmetrical, and then other stuff. But I think this painting thing's gonna last a while, so what we're gonna do before we add anything else is finish the paint, seal with Gordon Bennett, seal with a plastic coat so it's all sealed. But I do like the way the grout has gone. It's sort of a nice sort of matte black, which is making the red stand out a lot more. But it's like less is more. You sort of build it up really gradually, you know, little tiny bits. You know, you don't want to put too much on and then, you know, you can't take it off that way. And I don't really want to re-grout it, so there we are now. I'll come back when it's all freshly painted. So guys, we've got all the bits of wood here. It's all a bit of a mess in the shed, to be honest. But I'm just giving that a clear coat. I'm kind of liking the way I did that. I didn't go over with a paintbrush. I just went over it. I sprayed some paint on my rag and then just done it around the letters. It's still kept the letters looking really pristine, but giving it sort of like a faded-y sort of look that matches the background. So I'm quite liking that. What we're going to do for the sides, we've got a Hawkins side sign this side, and we've got Hellfire Club sign that side, because I want certain just to be pulled into the enclosure, so you got loads to look at, and it's just going to be part of the background, to be honest. There's other little bits, but I think that paint is standing out loads better. Really impressed with that. But it's time to make the sides now. So what we're going to do, we're going to stick that on with some sealant and the other bits, let it dry, and then around the sign I'm going to put mortar, so it's all not fully stone, because there's another effect I want to do. The same this side, so it's sort of symmetrical. But yes, that's the next thing we're going to do. Alright guys, so we're going to do all around that bit with mortar. So it just looks like a bit of rock in there. So there's the mortar there. That's the sort of consistency you want. Not too thick because it'll go off. This is just quick drying mortar. It'll go off too quickly. So what we're going to do, just carefully spread it around because we don't want to ruin all the cork bark and stuff that we've already stuck down. So the lighting's not great in here because we've done one side already. So I'm going to try and not cover it all with my hand, and we're just sort of laying it down all the way around a nice thick coat. And we're going to keep it, as you can see, we've put the tank on its side, so we're going to keep it on its side until we've laid it all down and the mortar's gone off. Otherwise it'll just fall straight down into one massive mess. So it just keeps it there until it's gone off. Right, I'm going to get crack on with that. And we'll come back. Laid it all out. Excuse the lighting, but what we're doing is we're just, so you don't get loads of application marks. We're gonna just get just an old brush. I'm just gonna try and flatten it. Not completely flat. Give it a bit of texture, but it just looks like a wall rock, a rock wall even, coming out of all the bark, which is going to be a base for the thing I'm going to do next. But that's all on now. There's all these gaps here. What I'm going to do is going to fill these up with soil. I'll see that there's another bit that hasn't quite been in, so I'm just going to put that in there. There we go. That looked quite cool actually. But yeah, I've got another thing that I'm going to do to make it look a bit more upside downy. I should have actually covered that bit with some masking tape, but I'll have to clean it off and repaint if needed. But there we go. Right, we'll see you once this is dried and we'll go on to the next bit. So guys, all that side's done. As you can see, it's drying quite nicely. But I'm starting to do the finishing touches now. So, well, with the sides of the walls anyway. So where you see down the gaps, I filled in the gaps with soil. Now this is Spider Life, but what I did was run it through a sieve, I could quote like a colander, like pasta drainer sort of thing. Don't tell my missus, but to make it really fine, because there's like big lumps of like barky stuff in it, so we didn't want that, but I still wanted a dark look to it. So what we've done is we got into all the gaps. So we've got gaps up here, up there, and what we're going to do, we're going to shine the light through here and then add the aquarium sealant with a very thin edge on there. So we've not actually, hang on, pull that off. So we haven't actually trimmed it all. So it's really fine. That way we can get into all the little gaps and then press in the fine soil to fill up the gaps and just make it not look so stark. But as you can see on here, I'm starting to create that upside down look. This is black hot glue melt. So we're just gonna create it there around the sign. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna do all the sealant bit first because we don't want it stuck all over the glue. Also, what I've done is a few extra touches in black hot glue in red to make it stand out a little bit, which makes it look quite cool actually. But yeah, so what we're going to do, we're just going to use a real fine edge thing and try and fill in all the gaps. So we're struggling a bit with light in UK weather, but as you can see with this like that, we're just going to do a really thin sort of lines across there. And then, oh, excuse the camera, sorry guys. And then I'll just grab a handful of soil and we'll just push it into place. Now what we'll do, we'll leave this overnight once I've filled in all the gaps. Obviously we're doing it on its side again, so it like gravity helps, it pushes it into the silicone. But we're just gonna sort of fill in all the bits and bobs and then we'll come back and see how it looks. Sometimes doing this is doing it a little bit blind, but hopefully it'll turn out all right. I'll only know tomorrow. So what we are, this is, I know it looks like oil or slime or something, but this is hot glue melt. So to upside down this hide, we're just gonna go, now be careful with this guys, because it gets on your hands, it's like proper. You just slowly like painting, but when you finish, say like a line, so I'll show you here, you go down, so we've got one, finish that line, and to get rid of that little stringy bit, go back on yourself like that, and it should just blend in just like that. As you can see, I started doing the truck. I'm not going to actually do much of this. I might actually, yeah, maybe not, but I might dry brush it with a bit of black to bring out the effects on the model or figurine, whatever it is, just to make it pop a little bit with some black. As you can see, we've done all that bit. What I'm going to do is sort of an upside down bit, like I've just showed you with the hide and with the sign. We're going to build that up so both match. But I think this is sort of acceptable for season 5 finale. I'm really loving it actually. Yeah. I've got a nice adult female versicolour that we can bung in here as well. So that hide that you've just seen will pop down here somewhere. Around there. We've got a couple of plants. I'm going to put some ivy in there because it's all a bit beige and black and red. I'll need some green to make it pop. So I get that vision of it's coming through into like a foresty sort of area. I've got a couple more of those like tentacle things that I can put in as well. But yeah, as it's an arboreal setup, hopefully it will work. We shall see. So that will go somewhere like that. But this one is all about the detail. Absolutely all about the detail. So let's crack on. So we're creating upside down look using the black hot melt glue. I think that looks quite cool. Yeah, sort of coming together. We've still got, lay it all out, we've still got to wrap the whole enclosure as well. But let's stop speaking and start doing. So guys, we're getting near to the end roughly. We're sort of spacing out what we're doing. Now we've added some substrate, and if you look down there, what I've been using as my drainage layer is bark. Especially on territorials, a lot of people use the like the clay balls and like the mesh netting, but I found when I done a bioactive that the spider was eating through the mesh, and then it was just creating a whole lot of mess. So this, because there's a nice good thick layer of bark chippings down there, it still lets the water drain through, but with less clay balls and stuff anyway. So I just I tried it out on the Evil Dead one, and it actually worked, and the plants were going great. The Theraposa that was in there did burrow down into the bark chippings, but it actually, you know, it didn't bother her that, you know, she's down in the chippings. There's no clay balls everywhere, and it just works. So we've got a nice little ivy there. We've also got my second favourite to put in enclosures is asparagus fern. Now we're going to probably break this down because it's quite big, so we're just going to sort of half it or whatever to stick in that corner just to give it a bit of greenery, because at the minute it's looking a little bit beige. So I want to make it look a little bit better. So I think the addition with a few plants, which I always like to use anyway. I don't like plastic plants anymore. I do like the maintenance and just keeping up with it. So we're just gonna have a mess around and try and get everything worked out into space. So this is the new occupant. Nice female vesica. So I'm just gonna pop her in right now. There we go. So we've got hide down there, water dish, and that little bit of rock. Really quite pleased how this has turned out. Yes, hopefully she'll get down there and make a new home for herself. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed that. That's my top shelf done. So you're probably thinking, what's next, Steve? Well, I've got Exoterra Habosphere in the workshop at the minute. I'm planning a build for a Theraposa Blondie. So it's going to be fully bioactive. We're just going to be making the background, but we're going to be setting up everything ready. As you know, it's the largest species of tarantula there is. So I'm going to make it really sort of bioactive. And the plants do really well in the Habospheres as well. I've got another Theraposa in the Evil Dead build in a Habosphere as well. And the plants are just growing so well that I wanted to do another one with a slightly different species of same sort SP, but the biggest one. So we're gonna sort that out next, hopefully get it done before Christmas. As you know, we're in the workshop now, so it gets a bit chilly in here, so the drying times and everything sort of length out a lot longer as well. But yeah, we're just going to get down to that. Really hope you enjoyed the Stranger Things build. I'm really looking forward to the last final season. Massive Stranger Things fan, as you can see. I'm currently in the process of watching all the old episodes, so I'm totally up to date when the new season comes out. Apart from that, guys, I really appreciate all your support, all your views on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Facebook, and obviously on here as well. So please do keep on watching, keep on liking, keep on sharing, and I will be back very, very soon. I shall see you later.